Good morning and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. Today I am clearing Act 5.4.4. I'm full boosted, EXP boost, champ boost, attack boost, health boost. It's not like the greatest use of the boosts, but at this point I'm really just impatient and I'm trying to clear this content all in the same night. It's been a very long night for me. So I pop over to this Poison and Bleed path. Now, this Poison and Bleed path is just an absolute dream for anyone who uses Omega Red or Ghost. And the reason for that is Biohazard. When you attack the opponent, you have a chance to bleed, which if you're using Omega Red, just constantly procs Death Factor and is just everything you want out of the game. And if you're using Ghost, if you immediately phase, you get this huge Fury buff, just by constantly converting the bleeds. So there's like a small fraction of a second where you're taking a little bit of bleed damage, but if you're quick and you can phase within a half a second, you don't take any damage. You can see I phase within like less than a second, so I don't take 2 ticks of damage, but within a second, so I only take a half tick. You can see here, this War Machine fight, I kind of get memed on. And of course, I die. This is in here because I was like, wow, I don't know what happened there. It's been a long night for me. I'm making a lot of mistakes, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and give that a reshot. I thought about ending the record, but I'm like, it was the first fight, everybody needs a test run, and it's only a handful of energy, so I go ahead and I dive right back in. But again, you could see me converting those Furies for some massive damage on Ghost, and it really just makes this Poison and Bleed path amazing. Ghost is great because if you have a node where they're like stun immune or debuff immune, Ghost just completely ignores that, since it's not like you're going to be parrying anyways. So I dive back into this War Machine fight. Ghost is a really good play for this one. I'm just not playing great, so I missed that medium first for some reason. I don't know if it's because I was delayed or if I just play poorly. I do get the parry here just to build up a quick Fury. Go ahead and get another parry in, build up some more Furies. I got pretty lucky with the RNG there, so getting 2 was awesome. And you can see that the reason I brought Ghost into this fight against War Machine is that special 1 from War Machine just absolutely crushes the amount of special you generate, and it's just insane how much constant special you have active. So between just 2 really fast generated special 2s, I absolutely destroy the War Machine. The other thing is that he has that special 1 enhanced, so it's unblockable, which makes it kind of tough to deal with a lot of other champions, but not with Ghost. With Ghost, you can just ease your way through it and actually benefit from it massively. Next up is this Medusa. She still has that Fisher Fury, nothing really particular except for the Biohazard node, but here you see Omega Red really just crushing it because every time I hit the Medusa, having that chance to proc an extra bleed means that you don't have to think about Death Factor at all. You just kind of heal your way through, except the thing is I didn't realize, I was like, oh, I forgot that it's enhanced bleed. So going up against this Medusa actually isn't great. Like, this is one of the few situations where Omega Red doesn't benefit from the Biohazard node, just because that enhanced bleed does cause you to get absolutely wrecked. But you can see here, at 1%, 2%, that Armor Shattered is actually healing me up a little bit, giving me up a little bit of window. I got a little bit lucky here at the end because I think that proccing another bleed would have actually killed me, but I do manage to pull through. Now, I know it's Biohazard the rest of the way through, so even though my Omega Red is really low, I decide, hey, why not? I'm going to push through this anyways, and this is actually, I think, only like my 3rd time trying to clear this path. I ran it once before, otherwise that Ghost attempt against the War Machine was it, then that was my first time clearing that Medusa. So I'm like, okay, there's no enhanced bleed this time. I could bring Omega Red and heal off of the Death Factor. I'm not too worried at 4% health. I'm fairly confident I can handle this Iron Man. So I get my parry in, stall out my Death Spores, and I progress through. He's armoring up, but it doesn't really matter because most of my damage comes from Death Spores. And you can see I play a little bit sloppy because normally if you get that unblockable attack, it's really good to always be throwing in a couple extra lights. Heimdall synergy really crushing it for me here, pulling through. I get a big heal off of those Death Spores, proper dex, and I'm back up to 14% health already. This is just one of the reasons for why I ran Heimdall Synergy, but you can see I'm constantly building up these bleeds. I've already reactivated my death factor field, and so I'm getting these big heals off of like high spore counts on this Iron Man. And in this situation, I was actually like, I knew for a fact that I would be really excited to go up against this Iron Man, just because that low health regeneration on his part means that I am able to get some healing. There it was unfortunate. I was actually looking to get a special one off there at the end of the fight, but I just built up more power than I thought. But that's okay. To go from a 2% Omega Red to a 22% Omega Red is a solid heal to get for free. So we continue down the path, and this time it's a cable. I checked the nodes real quick. It's just True Strike. That's not bad at all. And I actually forget which way I decided to take this one. Enhanced Special 1. Yeah, so I think because of the Enhanced Special 1, I opted not to take Omega Red. I didn't want to risk it. But also Cable's, his specials are kind of annoying. So, jump in, get my nice little medium taps in there. And again, I think that if you're quick enough, you can actually phase the bleed without taking any damage. I'm just not prioritizing that. I'd rather just push through. Like I said, at this point, I'm getting pretty impatient, and you see the biggest window of taking bleed from the Biohazard for Ghost is when you Special 2, so do try to end the fight with that, but like I said, at this point, I'm pretty committed to just reviving and potioning my way through, even though I don't really have those resources. I'm just like, I'm done. I am absolutely trying to get through Act 5 today, and not only am I trying to get through it today, I'm trying to get through it right now. So I do actually go on to complete the whole act all in one sitting. It takes me about another 40 minutes from where I am here. Go up against this Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster is an easy fight, so I'm pretty confident I can get some healing off of him. So I do my stall out, and I decide, his Special 1 doesn't cause me to lose too much distance. You can see there that I'm able to hug him the entire time, so I'm not too worried about having to bait a Special 1. And at this moment, I'm just like trying to get one more Special 1 so I don't take too much damage. But I push past my Special 1 opportunity for me to heal. So I decide, screw it, I'll just push into a Special 3 and I'll heal off of him that way. This is a lot more efficient from a healing perspective per one heal. But you can actually get a lot of multiple Special 1s in with the non-stop death factor for some big heals that way too. So I actually prefer that method. Even though it's pretty similar in total damage, it's just that the Special 3 option, sometimes you kill them. Getting the Special 1 there, it's only like 2%, but mostly it's just to keep my bar under Special 2, because once you pass the Special 2 range, you're pretty much stuck at a Special 3 option only. Again, I get a little memed by that 1%. I take a little bit of recoil damage, but you can see Omega Red 22% up to a little bit over 50% absolutely crushes this node. Like Biohazard and Omega Red, just absolutely phenomenal. And that's the reason why I'm so confident I can just push through this so hard, is because I know that from here on out, it's Biohazards all the way. So I'm really ready. Again, I'm just kind of mostly checking for stun immunity, debuff immunity, and enhanced bleed, because if there are any of those, I need to bring Ghost. King Groot's kind of a pain, but the good thing is that I know he won't be able to shrug my degeneration. I'm playing really aggressively here. Like I said, that's just the impatience coming through. I would highly recommend you don't dash back, dash forward into a King Groot. It's a good way to get punished. And I take some damage here. It's not really a big deal because the major damage source for King Groot on his Special 2 is his poison, and Omega Red is poison immune. I think it's awesome when they stack champions like King Groot on a path that is, Biohazard. And then if you're ever watching and you're wondering why I'm not waiting for the second slam of my heavy attack, it's because when I'm Special 3ing like this, it's for health. And I want them to stay as healthy as possible on the hopes that I can stack a Special 1 immediately afterwards. I do manage to dex the second half of that Special 2, just kind of like get a little bit of extra damage resistance there. Proper intercept of the King Groot. That's just a timing thing that I've learned, where if you hold your heavy attack long enough, if you hold your block long enough, you can get a medium dash in to kind of like intercept the opponent when they go for their heavy attack right at the beginning. And it's just something like if you're on it, you're on it, and if you're not, you're better off waiting to punish the heavy attack after they've thrown it. this random fight, I take a moment here and I'm like, I think I bring Omega Red, I bring Ghost, I bring Omega Red. I hate the random fights. Do yourself a favor and look up the map ahead of time so you're not, running into something random. I get lucky. It's just a Hulk. I'm like, okay, Hulk, this is an easy fight. And I punch into him. The only thing about Hulk is that when you knock him low, he can do a good amount of damage. So you want to be careful of getting punished there. So I'm just waiting it out. I don't want to get special intercepted for any reason, as that's going to really screw me up. I do drop the spores there, and you can see, I'm not playing really great here. I'm trying to bait a special, and I'm just not parrying the way I want to be. I do finally get the special 2 out of him after taking an insane amount of punishment, but I go ahead and I hammer my way through. I'm going to get a small amount of healing off of my special 3 here, just because I took way too much punishment there. And that's just a matter of, get good, right? I made a mistake. Play's been pretty clean. I don't know why he specialed there, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Thank you for dropping your special 2, Hulk. And here I'm actually trying to get one more special 1 off, but instead he's just going to die off to degeneration. Such is the luck of AI. Now for this MODOK. This MODOK's kind of a pain, but this is the whole reason why I love Ghost and Wasp synergy. So I'm going to dive in here. I believe I'm just trying to figure him out. So, he's a little bit boosted. You do have to worry about the auto block being a little more active. And I'm just like, I want to see how this interaction really is. So I bring Deadpool in. Just, I think it's really good to use your synergies when they're at 100% health, just to kind of get a feel for the fight itself. So I heavy in. If you do it, time it towards the back half under the stun, you can break the auto block and still optimize off the stun. So fight's not going bad. But here I'm like, okay, that auto block pops up incredibly quick. There I tried to dex, and so I got hit for it. I dexed way too slow, so I think I got hit by the unblockable portion of it. But I'm like, okay, it's not a bad fight. You do generate power off of this MODOK by hitting into his block. So I'm like, I'm just going to go in with Ghost and see how we can do. Especially since I'm not trying to give him too much in the way of persistent charges, so I want this to go fairly easily. Here I'm going to start punching into his block. I do a medium 4-hit combo. With Ghost, you do have to be mindful that if you don't get the proper crit off, that you do have to worry about not being able to phase immediately, so you're not like safe. So I'm just repeatedly punching into his block, generating power here, and that was a big mistake on my part. Not a big deal, but I finally get to the special 1, so I'm going to break it so I can get my 3 precision charges, and the auto block's already up. And I'm like, wow, that was a bad fight. Ghost is really good for this if you can get to your specials. I'm going to get some value out of Omega Red here. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the persistent charges for the most part. I already got the value out of Ghost, and I'm still secretly hoping that I can get him down without having to revive. So, just kind of playing my lives the best. I think the most optimal way to play this would have been to just raise up my Ghost multiple times, but, I made my decision, and not so bad here. If I had committed to the heavy attack earlier, I would have gotten so much more damage off of this MODOK, and again, I just keep getting nailed by that special 1. It's not hard to dex. It's super forecasted. I don't know. I wasn't on top of my game here. If I was on top of my game, I feel like I would have played it a lot quicker. I feel like I could have taken him out with that Omega Red. I could have taken him out with that Ghost. But we're going to dive in with my Heimdall. Nice long heavy attack here means 1, that I get to push through the auto block, and 2, well, it doesn't matter because I died. But 2, it also means the auto block comes up incredibly quickly. That was a really, really bad run with Heimdall. In hindsight, with the persistent charges on MODOK, I probably shouldn't have brought Wasp in here. But again, I'm like still secretly hoping I can get that no revive clear. Spoiler, I don't take him out with this Wasp. You can see I just get absolutely wrecked. A little bit of luck with that auto evade. Just trying to get some damage off. And I think that so far I've knocked him down 5%. I go back in, knock him down to 30%. That's a solid 7% off Wasp. It's not the greatest amount of damage, but it is a relevant amount regardless. But like I said, it's only 3 quests left until I get to my 2 more 5 stars. So at this point, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, it's just time to start dumping in revives. First up, I dump Omega Red. I had a little more luck with him in my run, so I think, hey, let's try this fight again. Whew, we dive in. Not too bad. Fight goes pretty well to start. I missed that parry. I feel like I've been missing parries a lot lately. Like here. I'm like, I tried to go for all 3 of those parries, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm a fraction too late or a fraction too early. But either way, fight's not in my favor. A dash forward, and of course he specials ones. I really should have slow played that. Like I said, that's just impatience. You definitely want to be baiting out specials. I really don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought he would, let me dash into him, but I tried it. Gotta go back in here with Omega Red, and we'll see how this one goes this time. This MODOK doesn't have to be this hard. You just definitely have to be patient. I think that patience is the biggest thing for this MODOK, just because you are constantly playing around that auto block. Omega Red's a pretty good counter to him, just because I'm getting all this passive degeneration so long as I'm standing close to him. I'm really trying to get a heavy attack in, but at this point I'm just like, screw it. He's dying to degeneration. Let me just get him that way. I finally get the unblockable attack, which is honestly what I've been looking for this whole time, and we end the fight there. And so that is Act 5.4.4, the completion run through there. I do my nice little check here of my 5-star shards, and you can see 7,400. I get my tier 4 basic, and we'll move on to the next one from here. That said, I will talk to you all later.